Looking at the patients I take care of, I think what they've done is a couple things. It's given those who were running, who are taking, maybe prescribing or darunavir or ritonavir, 2 or 3 drug regimens, the ability to finally take a 1 pill once a day. So for some reason they couldn't be on some of the other classes. When someone was on a protease, we really didn't have the ability to give someone a single tablet regimen. So now we do. I think the benefit of having this is it's another drug I have in my armamentarium when I see someone who presents to me. Do I want to use a protease inhibitor? Do I want to use an integrase inhibitor? And now I have a single tablet to do it. I think one of the things I didn't talk about is, and this really stems back, I think, in history of the evolution of antiretrovirals, is that when you give someone 3 drugs, a lot of times 2 of the 3 drugs, one is dependent on the other. So if you're using a booster, so say you're using darunavir with ritonavir or cobicistat, you really need that cobi or the darunavir to boost the levels of darunavir. But if you're given 3 drugs, there's a chance that someone may miss, maybe they're off in their pharmacy from picking up cycles. So you do need those 2. So you run the chance that you're not going to get the levels you need, and then you worry about virologic failure. Here, again, it's 1 single pill you have. I think one of the other big advantages, and there's really good data now from the Diamond trial, which was also looking at patients who are newly diagnosed with HIV, and then it was a single arm trial. They were basically started on Simtuza or the darunavir cobi single tablet regimen. And basically with that, they were shown, without having any lab data, no genotype, that they actually did pretty good on it. They really got down to virologic suppression. So this was in a population where you are doing a rapid start initiation right after diagnosis. So again, this gives me another drug or option that I can use for my patients. So when I'm thinking about patients for, again, the fixed dose of darunavir, cobi, emtricitabine, and tenofovir, again, I'm thinking about patients who, one, I'm unsure about their adherence. So they have unclear adherence to me. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to adhere to a regimen. And I want to have a drug where I'm going to be sure that they're not going to get resistant to it and blow future options. So that's the first group. If I'm going to do a rapid initiation scenario, so if I have someone who I bring in, I know nothing about their history, I don't have labs, I don't have serum creatinine to look at their kidney function, I don't have genotypes, I don't have hepatitis serologies, I feel confident giving them a drug like Simtuza, where they could start on it, and then I can wait for my lab results to come back in genotype. And then I think for those patients who are suppressed and I don't have records, I feel confident that making the switch to Simtuza would be a good choice, and I'd be able to maintain virologic suppression. The benefits, I think, when you're looking at a single tablet are, one, you have the patient, you're ensured that they are going to take all the components. Because again, even though it's a single tablet, in that single tablet, you're going to have a minimum of 3 or 4 drugs. And so you're guaranteed they're going to take it. I think the other thing is the pill size has gotten smaller over time, and we know that patients are going to be able to take it. So I think having everything in a single tablet, it's really like, it's a benefit all along. And we do have now a good number of single tablet regimens that are available for patients in multiple classes. And again, with the latest approval of Simtuza, we actually have a protease inhibitor. So I think one of the things I've seen over time when looking at clinical trial data is that really when you look at the safety and tolerability, what you see, I think, are a couple things. That the percentage of adverse events, and the way they're graded is on a scale of 1 to 4. We use a system that we use in clinical trials where largely the best way to think about it is grade 1 is mild, grade 4 is severe. Most of the reactions we're seeing, so first of all, there are very low percentages of adverse reactions. And then in addition to that, most of them are grade 1 or mild. So that's something that's definitely changed, where we had drugs where you saw 20% diarrhea. We're not seeing that at all. We're seeing very low percentages. So that's something that's changed. And the other piece that goes with it, because again, patients are going to have side effects when you first start a new regimen. But I think the key is to ask and look afterwards is what % discontinue the drug due to those side effects. And those numbers are typically 1 to 2%. So they're really low. Again, which is very different than what we had historically looking at previous antiretroviral trials.